Hello, welcome to a little bit of learning because that's what we're going to do today. Right now, I have today, we are going to see before Venus and Serena, there was Pete and Repeat, Margaret Peters and Matilda Peters. Margaret and Margaret and Matilda Rumania Peters were African American tennis stars from the late 1930s through the early 1950s. Ooh, maybe they coincided with Althea Gibson. Margaret, the older sister, was born in 1915, while Matilda was born in 1917. They grew up in the Georgetown district of Washington, D.C., where they first began playing tennis. As young girls, they could be seen playing at a park across from their home in Georgetown. They were named Pete and Repeat for their doubles playing skills and last name. While still in high school, the Peters sisters attracted the attention of a tennis coach from Tuskegee Institute, Cleve Abbott, who offered each of them a 4-year scholarship. Margaret, feeling uneasy about traveling so far from home, deferred for a year until Matilda graduated from high school. The Peters sisters arrived in Tuskegee in 1937. In college, both sisters played basketball and tennis, but they were known for their doubles play in tennis and exceptionally good at the moves such as the serve, slice, and chop shots, and had incredibly strong backhands. While in college, they played in the American Tennis Association ATA tournaments. The ATA is the African American Tennis League that still exists today. They both graduated from Tuskegee in 1941 with degrees in physical education. After college, they both continued to play amateur tennis in the ATA. Since they were amateurs, they had to pay for their own equipment, entry fees, and travel expenses. They won 14 doubles tennis titles between 1938 and 1941, and between 1944 and 1953. They gained some fame and played for celebrities, British royalty, and practiced with actors such as Gene Kelly. The Peters sisters were inducted into the Tuskegee Hall of Fame in 1977. Despite their skill, they were never permitted to test themselves against great white doubles players of the time. By the time the walls of segregation in tennis started falling, the Peters sisters were past their prime and were never able to compete in racially integrated matches. Margaret moved to New York City, New York for a short time after graduating from Tuskegee and received a master's degree in physical education from New York University. She returned to Washington, D.C. and worked as a special education teacher. She earned a second master's degree in special education from Copan State College in Baltimore, Maryland. Margaret never married nor or had children. She died in Washington on November 3rd, 2004. Matilda played singles as well as doubles with her sister. She won national singles titles from the ATA in 1944 and 1946. Like her sister, Matilda went on to receive her master's degree in physical education from NYU after graduating from Tuskegee. She married James Walker in 1957. Together, they had 2 children, a daughter named Frances Della and a son named James George. Matilda taught at Howard University in the 1950s and then the Washington Public School System from 1964 to 1981. She also taught tennis to underprivileged children through the District of Columbia Department of Recreation. On May 16, 2003, Matilda died from pneumonia. It is awesome to see who kind of came before. As I said, we had Althea Gibson in the 1950s, and she won the U.S. Open, I believe, and a Wimbledon. I think that she won Wimbledon in 1956 and the U.S. Open in 1958, or she won both Wimbledons or both U.S. Opens. I'll have a note right down here. But we had Althea Gibson, and now I am glad to see that we have that through Althea Gibson. We also have Zena Garrison, and then we had the Williams sisters, and even now we have Sloane Stevens, there's Thompson, there's Coco Gauff, who I hope wins the French Open. I don't know if she is in the running for that. But if you want to take a look, I will point you to this wonderful video where Coco Gauff, and I talked about how proud of her I was when she stood up for herself in her first round match against Laura Sigmund in the US Open, I think 2023. So thank you so much for joining me for this. I really love um, showing history and also just contributing to everybody learning about a little bit of their history of people of color. Thank you so much for joining me. Please pass these on if you like, and just enjoy the rest of your day.